What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today with an interdimensional video for Season 40 Battle of the Best of Interdimensional Arena. And now you're asking yourself, why is that video? It's usually a live stream, and the answer is work. I had to work, so sadly not enough time to make a live stream out of this, given we already had a live stream this week, so that's something. At least I get to do my once a month live stream, which is still much too rare, honestly. But about the season now, we will do it as a little best of, like watch my fight, we will watch 3 other fights in total, and probably not the most boring fights, and some of the little bit shorter fights I chose with the more interesting teams. Should hopefully be interesting. About the season though, 40th season of Interdimensional Arena, and you can already see it has been a season of big numbers. We see 2.5 billion strength, we see 1 billion strength, we see 1.3 and 3.1 billion strength. We see huge numbers, and like numbers that have tripled since the last season. And I think the difference in strength between even the whales has never been bigger than before, and between the whales and normal people as well. We see normal people that have strong teams with 300 million strength, and they are fighting people like me with 3 billion strength, and it's honestly insane. And don't be tricked by that. Like, the strength doesn't really translate to PvP strength all that much. A lot of it is like bound in heroes that are not in the main team, don't really do a whole lot. But overall, of course, it is strength, it is HP, it is attack, and that helps. But often speed decides it more than HP or attack does. So I wouldn't have been surprised to see weaker people take the first places. Best thing though, I won, though I have to say not really deserved. We will see it in this fight. I fought Gore, strong guildmate of mine, built a solid team. He has an A-tier Vulcan, which is of course a major threat in the meta like this. For myself, I saved a little bit of gems. And if you saw the last stream we cleared Holo campaign, I didn't switch the Mockman back. I didn't switch the Mockman out for the Star Alchemist home, so I still had him for the Holo campaign. I would have had to switch Mockman out for Star Alchemist homes, and then for the next day where we did the stream, I would have to switch it back, and I really didn't want to do this. So I kept the Mockman, built a little team around it, built a little burst team at the beginning, which worked quite well for most teams. You can watch it yourself, it's group 10. And then I bought the main team and just use Crown on the Star Alchemist homes to compensate a little bit for the lack of tankiness. Small thing I did, which I didn't like, I put the Sun Devourer EOS here. Later on I thought, like, why didn't you just use the LFA? And that would probably have been the better decision. But without further ado, let's go into the fight. And I really have to say, you can see it's very close, I didn't deserve the win. I didn't deserve the win. That was so much luck, honestly. You will see it in a second. Pretty much Core had it. He had it. He just had it. He was, I think if you see it, you will think he will win. And yeah, he obviously can't really hide that, but that is the thing. Regarding the rest of the video, we will watch like the best of the fights. I watched all of the fights in the final and some of the other fights, and I took a look at it and thought which ones would be worth sharing, which ones wouldn't. And I really didn't want to see this team anymore, to be honest. It's like my team, it is a very good team, and I'm not sure if I even made this up. No, I probably didn't. I'm not sure. I think it came out of nowhere somewhere. I had it, Jesus had it. I'm not sure. I made a video about it though. That's why I said my team. And I really don't want to see it again. It always goes to round 6, and then the faster Vulcan wins usually. Well, I guess his is faster actually. I'm not quite sure. He has an 8 here. Mine is pretty bad. A minus stats. Was 3 though, which is a big upside. So I guess he has the upside on that, and we usually would have won. Maybe we could have handled it a little bit better with the faster Star Alchemist homes, but that is speculation. His team does great damage. His team is super tanky. The Mockman team that we saw before that actually demolished some of the enemies I met before didn't do anything against this team, so it's very well set up actually. Does a whole lot of damage. You can see it here, nearly bursting down my Phantom Defiler Lena. The Star Alchemist homes in the top corner. It's pretty squishy, honestly. It's pretty squishy even with a crown. I tried it with a fan on some fights I did with the friend list, and that really didn't work out at all. It was like super squishy. Again, general, I think people with higher HP pool or heroes with higher HP pool in general do better with a fan than heroes with lower HP pool, because once the shield is gone, you're just super squishy. So they just have a little bit better time using a crown. Overall, I mean, the performance, we still get the CC, obviously. It's just a major advantage if you can get your Star Alchemist Storms faster than the enemy Vulcan, because then you can CC him on the round he really wants to attack or wants to do its weakness disclosure active. And yeah, this is the thing. I like, you really have to say, if I have to see 6 more of those fights and comment 6 more of those fights, I will personally jump out of the window instead of showing you guys this. So this is always like a problem. It's like a meta team, and there are 6, 7 of the finals that are just this meta team. We have some good ones though. I really think I picked some interesting ones. You can see that my Vulcan actually got the weakness disclosure stuff earlier, but he is CC'd. He has perceptual disorder on him, and that's why he now doesn't do his active to demolish Gore. So I guess that's also a bit lucky on his side, but I mean, considering that I only have my Ferric Investor and my DTV as highest attack heroes, well, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Now he has it too, and there we can see the active skill demolishing my team, and all very kindly leaving my strongest attack heroes out of the equation and not killing them, and well, subsequently getting murdered by my Vulcan, who did a whole lot of damage. I mean, the damage numbers there were really huge. That was just absolutely murdering him. Yeah, I won. I don't think it's deserved, honestly. I mean, like, if you get to the point where your Vulcan does a weakness disclosure active, you really want to demolish the enemy. And that sadly didn't work out. I'm not quite sure why it didn't work out, but it was a little bit on the lower side of the damage, actually. But weird. But I won. I take my second IDA champ, of course, and let's just jump to the next group. If I don't show you your fight during this video, I'm very sorry, but I think for the sake of a video, it's just better to show more interesting fights. GOP, God of Pain, still in the wrong clan, by the way. I don't know what's up with this dude. He just doesn't enter OP. I told him he can enter OP, and he just doesn't. He says he's happy in core. I think there is some stuff that you can do in life, good decisions, but still staying in core, that's just weird, mate. Nah, it's honestly fine. It's a pretty good guy, and oh my god, look at that account. I mean, like, look at that. He bought an S-tier Starving Jara, S-tier Ferric Investor, S-tier Doom Tormentor Vulcan. I don't remember him having all those heroes in the last season, so that's even more insane. And we have the A-tier Saya here, and another A Starwing Jara, and another A LFA. Man didn't even sell all his. He even has an A- Freya. That's insane. He just casually has all of those base copies at A tier lying around in his bag. And all of those copies are actually pretty good, like A+. But the fight I want to show you guys is the main team fight, because he uses kind of a CC team, and I really like that. Now we just have to find the real fight. I guess it's that one. He loses though. I just noticed that. I thought he won with the team. I thought I saw that. Or did I just look at the team and thought like, oh, that looks cool? Because it looks cool. He still won though. I mean, he won the fight after all, but not this match. So it's like, it's interesting. I mean, the left team is a little bit more of our meta team. But I saw this combination with the Astral actually a little bit more often this time. GOP hitting him with huge numbers. But now that's a little bit of a problem because, yeah, I mean, he has the Phantom Defier, his LFA is CC'd, so there isn't much happening in terms of CC, and obviously if you run like a CC team, you are very vulnerable to an enemy Vulcan, so yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. And the thing I thought about with teams like this is, it would be really great to just run SFX, and I think the iOS people already do that. If you're on iOS and a little bit off the aware of the meta, you can comment now. I think the people do that, and the thing is, you attack, and SFX obviously attacks this target that has defense down on, because that's the lowest life, and takes it out. And if you don't really run like SFX, you have kind of the risk that you don't really kill the hero that has defense down on him over multiple rounds, and that just gives the enemy time to clear you out. I really love, though, that we have a real homeowner Ezreal here at A tier with that 100 real investment in there. And I thought about a team like this, actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. The only real problem you have, though, is, of course, your Ezreal dying in against the team before you even get to meet the first team. And if he just suicides himself, he kills himself after all with his active skill. Just kind of the aim of it, the target of it, is killing himself and then reviving. Well, then you just lose your main carry hero, which makes this kind of a problem. But I really can imagine Ezreal teams being like the top 3 team-up teams. And maybe one day, maybe DH sends me some soul symbols one day. Not today, not tomorrow, but maybe one day. And then I can show you guys my idea of an Ezreal team, because I really thought of a cool Ezreal team and I would love to show you guys that. And next one is Group 7. X versus Sharon. I was surprised as I thought Sharon was actually quitting, but the count still looks pretty strong, honestly. Some good A tiers here. We have an SS Wraec investor, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty strong account still. X, of course. Yeah, I mean, like, he's strong. It's Ace. My god, it's Ace from my clan. I have to hate on him a little bit, but the account is strong. I can't say anything against it. Look at that. I mean, like, he still has all of those insane copies, I think. Are there still insane copies? Doesn't look as mad as usual. Well, the A tier crews and S tier stuff, we have an A- Gurky. That's pretty cool. So, main fight, let's not talk about that too much. We want to see some battles. And the thing is, we saw this team last time and didn't do that well, actually, in the last fights. But now we actually saw some surprising success with pretty bursty team, honestly. We still have the PDE on here, we have a Wraec investor, and then we have like Wraec and the triple damage squad here with LFA and Vulcan and Mockman fighting against like pretty much the team we saw before, but not with that much focus on the Ezreal. Ezreal here only at T4. So pretty interesting to see that we see a full burst team against a I would say a little bit more squishy version of the other team, considering, yeah, just the artifact selection seems a little bit like that. I mean, the Vulcan was gone in a second, but then again, the Mockman that Sorb and Ace, which both share this account, use is like insanely strong. That's a really big Mockman and really big heroes overall. I mean, like this Vulcan, for example, also really insane. So this is a bunch of insane heroes with insane damage, and you can see, by the way, that I selected like a little bit of the faster fights, so this video doesn't go on for like 40 minutes. This wasn't the aim of it. But the thing is, it's quite cool that we see Wraec in the meta, which is something that is interesting, because for a long time we only saw like Rogan and maybe there was a Panda, but now Wraec is back, and Wraec is one of those 3 heroes, Wraec, Rogan, Panda, that often has a place in the meta. Just this defense down mechanic is so strong. And I like the burst teams, but they haven't really arrived here on Android too much. Like those SFX Wraec burst teams I was talking about a second ago. Not really there yet. Not really in any form in the IDA Championship. I would have expected them to be here by now, actually. But maybe next season there will be a little bit of a shift and we will see SFX coming back. Which, by the way, she's now super cheap in the auction house, and I should get another copy because I retired my SS copy. Now I really need an A tier one. Jesus is here versus Normannen. Of course, we have to see that fight. A little bit of fast one, unexpectedly. Woodworks and Daiko always also in here. A little bit of a bad group for OP. A lot of people done here. Just Jesus building probably the same team that I use with a lot more and better heroes in there. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. Take a look at that and then tell me that this isn't insane. This is wonderful insane. And then we have Norman losing a little bit of a 3-star strategy. Oh, yeah, there's his team hidden down here. With a Mockman. We see a LFA, we see Vulcan, and it's a little bit like the team Sorb use, actually, but not with the Wraec. So that is interesting. Front row Mockman, also with the Mockman core, by the way. So let's see that. Of course, I mean, you could now already see the result. Jesus still just having the stat advantage, having all of those homes. I think he's now on the 6th home. Which is insane, by the way. Like, he is going to max his first island now pretty soon. And I mean, what are you going to do with the 7th home after all? Like, what are you even going to do with it? Still haven't figured that part out. I mean, the amounts of Stellar that you need just to fill those homes with proper tenants, and now, I mean, like, now you really want T5 tenants. So that's insane. That's, by the way, the moment where I thought Jesus could lose. Like, if Norman killed his Vulcan there, I think he would have stood a real chance. But sadly, this Vulcan survived. Ever so slightly. I mean, that was a real close one. And yeah, just now demolishes him. And we can actually watch that fight again. I just want to show you guys this one moment where Jesus really took a hit and, in my opinion, nearly lost. And it must be because of bad train RNG, which he really hates to talk about, by the way, because, yeah, train searches, train collections, they really don't like him. Just gets bad RNG there, and he hates a little bit on it. I mean, I can understand it. All those RNG mechanics, they are a little bit annoying, especially train. This can just be frustrating when you go in there and you are hoping for this the pink treasure, and it just doesn't arrive, and you get green shards instead. So yeah, that's a little bad. And they are just so close. And now just getting demolished with the active skill from this huge Vulcan. I have no idea how much attack that thing actually has, but I mean, yeah. To hit through his team like that certainly has to have a lot of attack. I have to say, I mean, like, for a burst team, Norman's team just didn't feel bursty enough, which is a little bit weird considering that, well, yeah, it's a burst team after all. I'm still waiting for those SFX teams, and I think it can be meta. SFX Drake going in there, slaughtering, maybe some LFACC with that. I think that can work out. The only thing you would probably need for that would be the speed treasure for Assassin. So pretty interesting season after all. Let's click through all of the groups. Holy Homer, congratulations to the win here. Can't pronounce that name. Still not up to par with those symbols. Then we have God of Pain. Oh, now I jumped from group 5. We jumped over group 4. Kenshin, congratulations. No name. No idea who you are. From Pillars. And then we have OP07. Pretty good fight, by the way, as well. Also worth watching, but I want to limit it a bit. X. Ragnaru won again. Is there nobody that can beat him? Green Knuckle. I mean, mate, come on. That's just Ragnaru. You can do it. Pretty good guy, by the way. Green Knuckle. Cool guy. Was in Paragon together with me. Pretty chill dude. And then we are into group 9. Jesus is here. And group 10, finally, myself. So, congratulations to all of the winners. 40th season of Interdimensional Arena is done with that. Pretty eager to see the next season. I'm hoping for some more SFX action, some more bursty SFX teams breaking up the meta with those Vulcan teams that I myself use, but I really want to see something else. And maybe the new hero that is going to be released on Friday, Call of the Stars, Ilamak Transcendence version. The skills look pretty lit, honestly. And I want to see if he can change the meta up a little bit. In any way, guys, I hope you liked the video. If you do, leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. We passed the 6K mark, which is honestly huge for me. Now, obviously, our next goal would be 10K, which is a lot to ask. Will still take a long time, but man, that would be cool. And anyway, I digress. So, in any way, I wish you guys a great day, and we will see us in the next one.